Welcome to the Guard Exile. Remember the good old days of being a zombie peasant that simply destroyed everything in your wake? Have you been seeking to play a necromancer that's different, and maybe you haven't given zombies a shot like myself? Or perhaps your wrists just need a break from all of the button intensive builds? Well, then look no further than the old school strength stacking Zombiemancer to satisfy your desires, even if you are new to Path of Exile. As a fellow addict of the wretched minion builds, I could not help but think, are zombies still good enough to be deemed worthy of playing within a reasonable budget? Of course, I could only choose to go the strength stacking route with the Baron helmet to get as many zombies as possible while abusing Vol Pact and a glorious vanity jewel for the overleech, giving us even more sustainability. We also make use of a multi-modded bow, so our raised zombies gem reaches up to level 29, making them even more tanky and delivering our crazy damage. With the introduction of Scourge League came some awesome changes as the skill tree was overhauled, including the new masteries and new implicit modifiers, such as the +1 to maximum raised zombies. But not only this, we also gained access to 2 new support spectres. These beings are the Pale Seraphim and the Demon Harpy, which greatly increase the amount of ore damage types taken, meaning we are able to gain even more damage. The easiest way to obtain these spectres will be in global chat 6666. Just ask for them and you will surely be invited to desecrate them in a fellow exile's hideout. Are you intrigued by this build? Then smack that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified on my build guides and build updates are released prior to my full build to stay updated on my latest videos. Don't forget to like and share the video in favor of reaching more exiles. If you are watching this build guide after patch 3.16 Scourge League and the title's patch number has been advanced, be sure to check the description down below and pin comment for any changes or updates on the build. Please note that the viability of the build is subject to change as some items, mechanics, or skill selections may change in between patches. With this being said, the build can differ from the video, so let's check it out. Overall, the build performs really well from the get-go when leveling through all of the acts, which is an absolute breeze without any struggles. Getting into early maps was a bit iffy as zombies are squishy early on, but was soon well on my way to destroying content with little investment. The build can pull off 6 million Cyrus DPS easily without the use of any awakened or alternate quality gems, leaving room for many more improvements but at a higher cost of course. If you struggle to get the 1000 strength requirement, then I suggest you use an efficient training jewel, Meganord's Vase gloves, and an Archnemesis amulet while farming for more currency. Offensively, we make use of an empower gem and a multi-modded bow to increase the levels of not only the zombies but the support gems too. Along with this, we stack attack speed via Ascendency, Feeding Frenzy, Utility Spectres, and Flesh Offering. But don't forget the new Spectres introduced in Scourge League that increases the damage taken from all types. To further increase our zombies' damage, we utilize cluster jewels, normal jewels, physical auras, curses, aspects of the avian, a carrion golem, and an animate guardian, but lastly, our impales as well. Defensively, first and foremost, we are a summoner, so we should let our minions do the work and take the brunt of the damage whilst we just stand nearby. The best defense that we have is gained from the Baron helmet, allowing our zombies' damage to be leached to us with the Vol Pact and Immortal Ambition. For our own defense, we gain physical mitigation from our Necromancer Ascendency and maximum resistances. I make use of defensive flasks for extra armor, bringing our physical mitigation to around 70% along with a quartz flask for phasing. We also fortify from our animate guardian thanks to the Kingmaker weapon, plus its chest gives us blind as well, further decreasing the enemy's chances of hitting us. With the proper Abyss Jeweler fixes, your minions will also taunt enemies on hits, which will further pull enemies away from you. Finally, we have bone armor that gives us an extra 2209 damage mitigation with immunity to bleed for us and our minions too while the buff is up, plus we have a huge life pool to comfortably take chunks of damage. For playstyle, it's really simple for mapping and bossing. Be sure to keep bone armor on your left click button at all times so it auto casts. Once in a map, you will want to pop your flesh offering as soon as a pack dies. After this, you'll want to slap all of your flasks and slip through enemies as quick as possible. Remember, just before each pack, that if your zombies aren't close by, to use Convocation to leash them to you or to simply get them out of huge damage hits. Vile Haste is to be used when you have a tough enemy or boss to help burst them down without struggle. For bossing, you will want to Desecrate and keep flesh offering up during the entire fight. Next, you will want to make sure to keep Poacher's Mark on the boss, giving extra damage and life on hit. However, make sure to keep your zombies out of big damage abilities by using your Convocation. You will want to keep the boss in your blood stance and Pride auras for the extra physical damage taken. For our pros, it has got decent clear speed with even better single target damage. You will kill most bosses without struggle as we have up to 6 million Cyrus DPS. We are rather tanky while having incredible sustain thanks to our high life and leech. It's a good league starter as the core item, the Baron, is very affordable. The build is budget friendly as you will need no more than one Exalt to get it up and running. The biggest war will be the 6-link bow and the level 3 in power support, but you will be just fine with the 6-link chest until you have farmed up. You won't feel lonely as we have plenty of buddies. The Necromancer is arguably the best character for new players, and this build makes it even easier for newcomers to get familiar with the game. For our cons, new players using this as their first build might get the wrong idea that this game is extremely easy. It's a minion playstyle, as minions aren't for everyone, but Convocation will mitigate that for a lot of players. For others, however, letting others do the job simply just won't do it for you. The build is unable to do any type of physical reflection. With our class and Ascendency, we are the Witch's Necromancer and take the following lab nodes. Commander of Darkness grants 30% to all elemental resistances to anyone affected by your auras, including yourself, as well as 30% increased damage to our minions and a fair amount of added attack speed from our auras. Mindless Aggression, our minions gain some movement, attack speed, and another 30% increased damage. Unnatural Strength gives us +2 to gem levels to all of our minions, which is very important for our zombies to scale the gem level as high as possible. Bone Barrier grants us the level 20 bone armor skill, which gives us a shield of 2209 extra damage mitigation, immunity to bleed for ourselves and minions while it's active as well. We also gain some additional physical damage reduction per active minion along with increased recovery rate of our life per active minion too. The extra 20% more minion life helps out a lot, allowing our minions to take decent amounts of damage without being one-shot. In the path of building is leveling trees for each act with a build setup including a budget, current setup, and a high-end variant which you will find down below in the description. However, we grab the following keystones and masteries in the tree. Vile Pact doubles the amount of life leech per second and the total amount of life recovery rate at the loss of our life regeneration. Immortal Ambition, what this does is it enables our leech that we get from our zombies to not be removed when we are on full life, allowing our leech to continue even while we are on full life. In terms of our masteries on the tree, we use Reservation Efficiency, Minions Attacks Overwhelm Physical Damage, Flat and Maximum Life, reduced extra damage taken from critical strikes, increased attributes, and lastly cannot be inflicted with corrupting blood. For our major Pantheon, Soul of the Brown King, this is to help avoid chain stuns and freeze immunity with 50% less effects of chill on us. With the minor, Soul of Garakan, to reduce the effects of shock on us by 60% along with immunity to blind and maim. When you get to your bandits, I highly suggest that you kill all of the bandits for the 2 skill points. In the weapon, you will want Raise Zombie linked to multi-strike so our zombies can double slam their attacks. Brutality and melee physical damage for the more physical damage they provide our zombies, along with an impale gem giving them the ability to inflict impales with increased effects thanks to our dread banner. For the last link, you will want to socket in Empower to increase our zombies' gem levels, giving them not only more damage but also more life. Don't forget that Empower also increases all of the other support gems levels too. With our helmet, you must have your raised spectres socketed in here for the extra gem levels, allowing us to have a maximum of 4 spectres with the level 21 gem. Our animate guardian also goes here for the extra levels, giving it more life along with a meat shield to make them more tanky and take less damage. In the next section of this guide, I will include all of the items needed for your animate guardian. In terms of the spectres, you will want a Carnage and Host Chieftain with a Demon Harpy, and for the 4th spectre it must be a Pale Seraphim. For the last link, you must have life tap socketed in here so that the 2 apes can spam their skills, giving our zombies power and frenzy charges. In the boots or gloves, you will want Flesh and Stone for the sand stance, blinding enemies inside of it while giving reduced damage taken from any hits outside of its aura radius. Pride goes here too, which makes enemies take up to 40% more physical damage that are in its radius as well. Socketing in Convocation gives you the ability to keep your minions near you at all times, with Desecrate to summon corpses when there are none nearby to pop your flesh offering. For your body armor, you only needed to be 6 socketed where our Carrion Golem goes, giving our zombies some extra flat physical damage. They must be linked to Feeding Frenzy and Maim to have 100% uptime on the buff, and Maim on bosses, giving our minions not only extra attack speed but increased physical damage. Vitality must go here as we utilize a Watcher's Eye with increased life recovery rate while affected by Vitality. The last 2 sockets must be Dread Banner linked to Generosity, which gives our zombies extra Impale enchants and Impale effect, further increasing their damage output. In your gloves or boots, you will need a Poacher's Mark, which is used for bossing, that gives our minions extra life gain on hit, but most importantly, extra flat physical damage and negative 20% physical damage reduction on the marked enemy. Flesh Offering goes here too to give our zombies extra attack speed, movement speed, and Vol Haste, which we pop whenever it reaches full souls for even more attack speed. All 3 of these must be linked to increased duration to have a longer uptime on them, allowing you not to have to spam them all of the time. Lastly, Flame Dash socketed into an unset ring for our only means of utility and escaping bad situations to keep yourself or zombies out of harm's way while using Convocation. Firstly, I want to cover our Animate Guardians items that provide us with the extra utility and damage, then I will cover our own gear. For the helm, we use a Leocast or an Elder base that has plus 9% increased physical damage taken by nearby enemies, along with some life if possible. We then make use of a Singularity weapon with a Victorious Shield or the Kingmaker weapon for the Fortify, Crit Multi, and Culling Strike, which applies to both you and your minions. Next up is its body armor, where you should look for one that has the Crusader influence for the modifier nearby enemies are blinded with life. For even more life, you can look for one with an open prefix to craft on 8% increased maximum life. In terms of the gloves, you must look for any pair that has the corrupted implicit mod curse enemies with vulnerability on hit. Lastly, the boots are Windscream, allowing us to have our Poacher's Mark and vulnerability up on bosses as it counts the extra +1 curse. Moving on to our gear, the weapon must be a short bow base as it's easier to roll 4 red, 1 green and 1 blue sockets. With this, you will want +1 to level of socketed gems, grants aspects of the avian skill, and minions deal increased damage. Multi-modding the bow is the best as we craft +2 to level of socketed support gems and minion attack speed, which allows us to get our raised zombies gem to level 29. For your offhand, any quiver which has a decent life roll, any resistances, and chaos resistance, which is a must. Make sure to look for one that has an open suffix so you can craft on any missing attributes, or you can get one that has a high dexterity roll already. Our helmet can only be the Baron, as it is what makes the build possible with at least 1000 strength, so our zombies damage is leeched to you as life, which we pair with Vol Pact and Immortal Ambition for the overleech sustain. It also gives 2 extra zombies thanks to us having 1000 strength along with some extra life and +2 to socketed level of minion gems. For the lab enchant, your one flesh offering grants an additional 21% increased attack speed. In terms of the body armor, you need it to be an astral plate for the all resistances that it has, along with a high strength roll and a high life roll with a % additional physical damage reduction. Be sure to get one that has any extra resistances with open prefix so you can craft on the % increased maximum life, further increasing your health pool. With the gloves, we get a pair that has a high strength roll, some life, any resistance, and some chaos resistance as well, which is a must. For the boots, you must try to find one that has the Scourge modifier +1 to maximum number of raised zombies that has at least 30 plus strength. Any life, resistances, or movement speed will be a bonus, allowing you to be resistance capped and more speedy. Moving on to our amulet, one that has the +1 to maximum number of raised zombies modifier to increase our number of zombies and as much strength as possible. Having one which grants extra intelligence or dexterity is also a must to fill in missing attributes for our gem requirements, but you can get rings which have them too. For the anointment, Death Attunement will be the best for an extra zombie and our 4th support Spectre. Looking at the rings, you should aim to get high strength rolls and life with some chaos resistance. Any other attributes or resistances help out a lot, even if you buy ones that have open prefixes or suffixes so you can craft what you are missing. Just be sure that one of the rings is an unset ring so you can sock it in your flame dash. Lastly, our belt is one with a synthesis implicit mod, % increased strength to raise our required strength cap to 1000 along with a high flat strength roll. Having a high life roll with any resistances is ideal if you are looking to get over 7000 life pool. Don't forget to use intrinsic catalysts on your amulet, rings, and belt to increase the amount of strength, intelligence, and dexterity they provide us with. Moving on to the cluster jewels are an 8 passive skill large cluster jewel with minions deal 10% increased damage. The first passive skill is Call to the Slaughter, giving increased minion damage and attack speed. The second is Feasting Fiends for the extra minion life, damage, and leech, giving our zombies extra survivability. The third passive is Renewal, giving life regeneration, but more importantly 5% chance to deal double damage while our minions are on full life. We then utilize 2 4 passive skill medium cluster jewels with minions have 12% increased maximum life. For the passive skills, you will want Feasting Fiends and Renewal on both, which gives our zombies some more extra life, leech, regeneration, and an extra 10% chance to deal double damage. On either 3 of the cluster jewels, you can get ones which also grant any extra attributes, life, or resistances that you may need. For our normal jewels, we make use of a glorious vanity that is bathed in the blood of the sacrificed in the name of Ahuana, socketed just below Mind Over Matter to transform it into immortal ambition. What this does is it enables our leech that we get from our zombies to not be removed when we are on full life, allowing our leech to continue. We also use a Watcher's Eye jewel that has the modifier increased life recovery rate while affected by vitality, so we are able to get extra life recovery from our zombies' leech. In terms of our normal jewels, you should look for ones that have % increased maximum life, increased minion damage, and any attributes or resistances which you are missing. You'll want at least 2 Ghastly Eye jewels which give flat life, minions have a chance to taunt on hit with attacks, and minions deal additional flat physical damage or minion leech. Moving on to our flasks, a Blood of the Karui is best for your life flask slot as it requires more health than any normal life flask. Any Quicksilver flask which has increased duration and increased evasion rating, giving us our speed with extra evasion rating for evading attacks. A Quartz flask that has increased duration with reduced effective shock, giving us the ability to run through enemies with some mitigation. For your third flask, a Granite flask with increased duration and immunity to freeze for the extra physical damage mitigation it grants us. If you have Latanius captured on the Pantheon, then you can replace your freeze flask with reduced effective curses on you. The last flask you'll want is a Jade flask with increased duration as well and increased armor, further giving us extra evade chance and physical mitigation. Leveling this build is really easy and an absolute breeze. However, if you would like to see how I leveled, then check the description for my videos on the progress of the build, but here's some useful leveling uniques. An Aurum Vorax for the resistances, a Matua Tupuna shield for the extra gem levels, the Baron helmet for extra gem levels, a Tabula Rasa for that easy 6 link, Meganord's Vase for the extra 100 strength, Bones of Ulur giving us 1 to level of our minion gems, an Archnemesis to fill out any missing attributes, Belt of the Deceiver, 2 Hoops of Ore for their resistances. For your gems, you will want to have the following setup for the easiest leveling. In Act 1, you will want Summon Raging Spirits linked to Summon Skeletons, Onslaught, Ruthless, Chance to Poison, and Summon Phantasm. For your auras, you will want Vitality, Clarity, and Flesh and Stone. In terms of your utility, you will want a Flame Dash linked to Arcane Surge, which must remain at level 1. Along with this, we also make use of Flesh Offering, Raise Zombie on the side, and an Infernal Legion, which we will later use in Act 2. By the time you are in Act 2, you will want Summon Raging Spirit linked to melee physical damage, Ruthless, Maim, minion damage, and Summon Phantasm, along with a Summon Skitterbots, which is linked to Infernal Legion. Here, you will also want Raise Zombie linked to minion damage and minion speed. By Act 3, you will want Convocation linked to Flame Dash and Arcane Surge, which must remain at level 1. Along with this, you have your Raise Zombies linked to Ruthless, Maim, and melee physical damage, along with our Summon Raging Spirit, which is linked to Feeding Frenzy, minion speed, minion damage, Summon Phantasm, and Onslaught. Pick up Raise Spectre and Animate Guardian for later on as well. From Act 5 all the way until white maps, I suggest that you use a Raise Zombie linked to Ruthless, Brutality, and melee physical damage. Now you can drop Summon Raging Spirit and use Vol Summon Skeletons and Raise Spectre linked to Feeding Frenzy, Maim, Life Tap, and Summon Phantasm. You must use Host and Carnage Chieftains with a Pale Seraphim to support your zombies if you can. From here on, feel free to make use of the passive tree and gear to help fill out missing attributes as you level and respec them later when you have the appropriate gear. Once you are into earlier maps, you can drop the unnecessary gems and replace them with the ones according to the gems section of this guide. Zombies are still a solid option for playing a minion build, even after all the nerfs and them no longer being meta or a choice of the people. While leveling, the minions carried me through the acts at the speed of light until earlier white mapping, where I dropped the gear and some gems to the actual setup. I was able to defeat all of the Conquerors, Atlas bosses, Elder and Shaper, including Cyrus on Awakener 8 without struggle. As long as you are familiar with the mechanics, you shouldn't find that your minions or yourself will die. So, in conclusion, the build is a solid choice which is very satisfying to play with. It's just shy of 6 million Cyrus DPS and the defensive layers make you feel really tanky and confident while mapping or bossing. If you found this guide helpful or the next new build you will play, then smack that like button and subscribe with notifications on for many more builds planned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, Exile.